Over half of Americans over 60 are living with silent heart disease, and most don't even know it. Have you heard your heart's quiet warning yet? In today's longevity tale, I want to show you how heart disease doesn't always arrive with a scream. It often drifts in like fog, unnoticed, until it's deeply woven into your life. At 65, I no longer wait for sirens or sharp pains to define heart disease, because the kind that steals lives doesn't crash through the door. It moves like morning fog, soft, silent, easy to miss. Until one day, you realize you've been walking in it for years. That fog doesn't begin with pain, it begins with softness. A skipped breath here, a little heaviness there. Tiny injuries weave themselves into your arteries softly, invisibly, until one day a single fray becomes a tear. I remember David, 45, vibrant, the kind of man who still played tennis on Sundays and laughed easily. His numbers were almost normal, just a little pressure, a little cholesterol, nothing urgent. But that morning, as he bent down to tie his shoes, the fog claimed him. No crash, no pain, just a soft ending no one saw coming. The danger was never just in numbers. It lived in the endothelium so thin, it could tear from the weight of a whisper or fray like silk left too long in the wind. When healthy, it's like silk in a still stream. But stress, sugar, and time tug at that silk like rough hands on fine fabric, turning smooth flow into friction and friction into harm. It's not the largest blockages that betray you, but the tiniest fractures at the wrong moment, like a single snapped thread that unravels the whole cloth. By 40, your heart has pulsed over 1.5 billion times, faithfully, silently, without ever asking for thanks, just rhythm, day after day. Yet that's the age when we start to neglect it, skipping meals, chasing deadlines, soothing stress with sugar. But the heart remembers every rhythm we give it. It carries every rhythm we give it. Fatigue, shallow sleep, shortness of breath, these aren't just signs of aging. They're the early echoes of imbalance, the first shift before the storm. And if you listen now, you may not need to face the storm. Healing begins not with fear, but with a pause, a moment you look inward and realize your body isn't failing you, it's just asking for a gentler rhythm. I'm simply tired of running without rhythm. What it craves isn't stricter rules, but softer attention, a calmer plate, a slower breath, a rhythm that feels less like a race and more like a return. Tonight, before sleep finds you, rest your hand on your chest. That steady beat beneath your palm, it's not just a pulse. It's a tender vow. I'm still here, and we can still begin. A gentle reminder that no matter how far the fog has settled, the path is still open, and your next steps can still bring light. Your arteries aren't just plumbing, they're living journals. They record every spike, every sigh, every bite, etching your habits into their walls. At the heart of each vessel lies the endothelium, so delicate, it can tear from a whisper of imbalance or a single sugar-fueled surge. It doesn't fear cholesterol, it fears being forgotten. Each sugary bite, each soda surge nudges insulin higher until your cells tune out, and the flood becomes friction, raising triglycerides, stiffening pressure, cracking the endothelium from within. Once frayed, your vessels turn into sticky, net-strapping white blood cells, oxidized LDL, and calcium silently weaving plaques from inflammation, not fat. I once met a woman in her early 50s, outwardly healthy, inwardly running on fumes. Her cholesterol looked fine, but insulin told another story, and low-grade inflammation had already begun to rise. Late dinners and so-called healthy dried fruits were fueling a slow-burning fire her labs couldn't ignore. With a few gentle shifts protein in the morning, dinner before sunset, no grazing, her markers improved. But more importantly, a deeper steadiness returned to her body. Atherosclerosis doesn't scream, it murmurs through fatigue, restless nights, stubborn belly weight, bleeding gums, and 3 a.m. Wake-up's the subtle clues of a battle unfolding beneath the surface. But here's the grace. The endothelium can be repaired. Your arteries aren't fixed pipes, they're living tissue constantly reshaped by the way you live. Less sugar, fewer snacks, more movement, gentle sunlight. Stillness between meals. These small, consistent choices are not minor. They are signals. And over time, your arteries begin to remember how to trust you again, not through force, but through rhythm restored. Healing your heart isn't just about what you eat, it's also about when and how. Your heart moves to the rhythm of your daily choices. When your meals fall out of sync, even the best foods can lose their healing power. Start your day with protein and healthy fats like eggs, avocado, a few nuts, or salmon. It calms your blood sugar, steadies your insulin, and gives your heart a smooth flow to follow. A sugary breakfast, on the other hand, sets off alarms, early fueling spikes, crashes, and internal stress your arteries quietly absorb. Just as important is when you stop eating. Closing your kitchen by 7 p.m. isn't about discipline, it's about repair. That overnight window without food, insulin, or noise size when your body quietly rebuilds. Even how you eat makes a difference. Rushed bites in front of a screen or inbox? Keep your nervous system in defense mode, tightening arteries, blocking digestion. But a breath, a pause, a moment of stillness before a meal? That's what tells your body it's safe to heal. Follow your natural rhythm. Eat more when your body is most responsive in the morning and early afternoon. Let the evenings slow down. Your metabolism was never built for midnight snacks. It still follows the light. I once worked with a driven executive who ate all the right things but at all the wrong times. She skipped breakfast, had heavy dinners, and snacked late. Her energy was flat, her sleep broken, her labs worsening. When we moved her main meal to midday and let her evenings wind down earlier, everything shifted. She woke up lighter, her thoughts are clearer, her heart is quieter. She said, "I didn't change much, but I feel completely different." Because eating well isn't just about nutrients, it's about rhythm, flow, and remembering that timing is not restriction, it's kindness. A form of deep respect. A way of saying to your body, "I'm listening now." Your body heals best when you rest and eat less often. Space between meals gives your arteries time to repair. Sleep helps your heart recover from the day's wear. And natural rhythms like walking after meals or breathing slowly in sunlight wake up healing without needing pills. Among your quiet allies is nitric oxide gas that helps your blood vessels relax and stay open. But too much sugar, poor sleep, and stress can block it. The solution? Simple rituals. Olive oil on greens. A walk after dinner. Early sleep. They work. You don't need to count everything. You need to care gently and consistently. For years, cholesterol took the blame for heart disease, but it was never the cause, it was the responder. Like a firefighter arriving at the scene, cholesterol shows up where damage already exists. It doesn't cling to healthy arteries. It binds to the injured, those worn down by sugar, stress, and chronic inflammation. Instead of obsessing over lowering cholesterol, we need to look deeper. According to the Framingham Offspring Study, individuals with high insulin resistance face over twice the risk of cardiovascular event 7 when their cholesterol appears normal. Framingham Study, 2005. That's why the real signals worth listening to aren't found in total cholesterol, lie in deeper biomarkers. Your triglyceride to HDL ratio is often the earliest map of insulin strain. Fasting insulin uncovers the load your cells carry. HSCRP whispers of quiet fires already burning inside. And ApoB, according to a 2009 meta-analysis in The Lancet, offers a sharper prediction of risk than LDL cholesterol alone. I once worked with a man in his 40s, fit, active, afraid of fats. His cholesterol looked perfect, But inflammation told a different story. After 6 months of real food eggs, butter, olive oil, his triglycerides fell from 210 to 130. His HDL rose from 38 to 53. But more than the labs, it was his energy that returned. His breath deepened. His body exhaled. He said, "I feel steady again, like I'm no longer running on fumes." The lesson? Your heart doesn't crave perfection. It longs for ease. Every vessel in your body, every strand of endothelium holds an embedded map for renewal. But healing needs 3 things we often overlook: space, balance, and trust. Even after years of silent damage, your arteries still know how to repair if you stop the daily harm and give them relief from sugar, insulin, and inflammation. Autophagy, your body's natural cleanup crew, doesn't work during noise and rush. It wakes in the pauses, between meals, during true rest, when insulin softens and internal stillness returns. Healing doesn't just need a calm mind, it needs a restorative flow within. And among your quietest allies? Nitric oxide, humble gas that keeps your vessels open and inflammation low. But it's delicate, easily undone by sugar, bad sleep, or processed food. Fortunately, gentle rituals like a walk after eating, a breath beneath morning sun, or a plate drizzled with olive oil and greenscan restore that flow more powerfully than any pill. Healing your heart isn't a race. It's a quiet, return one steady month, one caring step at a time. In the first few months, clear the ground, replace bad oils with olive and butter, sugar with real food, and late-night snacks with deep rest. Next, steady the rhythm. Start your day with protein and healthy fats. Move gently and fast between meals to let your body remember how to breathe. Then, cool the fires. Eat colorful foods rich in antioxidants. Sleep deeply, laugh more, and invite gratitude into your evenings. Finally, rebuild strength. Walk with purpose, lift something light, and check your progress not with fear, but with curiosity and trust. I once walked this road with a man who thought he was too late. But month by month, as inflammation calmed and his breath returned, so did something more prosciutto. "I didn't just save my heart," he told me. "I found myself again." Your healing won't come in a single day, but it will come in lighter mornings, deeper sleep, steadier breath, and a heart that knows it is finally being cared for. You're not too late. You've never been. Your heart still believes in you. So begin in breath, one real meal, one gentle rhythm at a time. Your heart has never asked you to be a hero. It doesn't require grand gestures or perfect discipline. It simply seeks your attention, your patience, and your willingness to listen before the silence deepens. You're not too late. You've never been. If you're starting to listen to your heart again, tell me in the comments, what's the softest signal your body's been whispering lately? I read every story. And next time, I'll share how to build your rhythm day by day. Heart disease doesn't strike like lightning, it sneaks in quietly. It begins in the missed walks, restless nights, and unseen inflammation long before any diagnosis. But even earlier, your heart whispers, a little more fatigue climbing the stairs, a little less lightness waking up. In today's noisy world, we've forgotten how to listen. We obsess over numbers, notifications, and endless goals. But real healing doesn't start with chasing perfection. It begins with noticing when your body asks for rest, when your spirit asks for connection, when your heart simply wants you to come home to yourself. If something in today's story stirred your heart, don't rush to fix everything. Just start with one breath before bed, one calmer breakfast, one slower evening walk. I once sat with an elder in Okinawa who said, "The heart doesn't grow old because it beats too many times. It grows old because we stop hearing its rhythm." At first, I thought it was just poetry. Now I see it's biology too. Your arteries, endothelium, and every cell in your body, they all respond to how you live, move, eat, sleep, and love. They aren't hardened by time alone, they're hardened by neglect, by forgetting that every beat matters. You don't need to be perfect to protect your heart. You need to be present. Small acts of kindness towards your food, your breath, and your daily rhythm are enough. Your heart can weather missed workouts and late meals, but it can't endure a lifetime of being unheard. So, if you wonder where to begin, start here. One deep breath, one real meal, one evening walk, one early night's sleep, one honest conversation, one hand on your chest whispering, "I'm listening." Because living long isn't about escaping death, it's about embracing life enough to stay fully alive, all the way to the final breath. Your heart isn't looking for a hero. It's looking for a friend. If this journey resonates with you, if you feel that quiet pull to care more deeply for the life unfolding within you, then you're already on the path. Keep walking step by step. This, my friend, is just the beginning.